Hello, welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the Recovery Plug. What's happening, everybody? I hope you guys are doing great. I know that my day is going pretty good. Um, yeah, I'm excited for today, man. So I got some news. It's good news. But before we get this video started, if you would please join me in a moment of silence, followed by a serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers, and for those of us who are still bound down to that struggle that keeps us bound down in our everyday struggles and this toxic environment that we live in. So if you would please join me in a moment of silence. God, grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, wisdom to know the difference. Alrighty, well, let's get started. Man, check this out. Today is an exciting day for me personally because today is my last day of school. Yes, I'm finally graduating from this school, and you know what? It's one of those things that I'm just really grateful that I'm able to have a second chance at getting life back moving, you know what I mean, and doing new and positive things, you know what I mean, from being down and struggling with drug addiction, man. It is to be able to be here, sitting here today, clean and sober, and it with this positive and spiritual attitude, man, is just amazing. You know what I mean? And I'm just grateful that gosh, I think back, 2 years ago when I was in the addiction, I had no idea. This was like the furthest thing from my mind. Me sitting here doing a YouTube video podcast and graduating through a course, you know what I mean? And I'm excited that I entered the program over at ACI and am getting a computer user analyst specialist, uh, uh, course that I'm just finished up with, and you get these certificates. It's an ITIL 4 certificate, a network 1101 and 2 certificates, and the security plus certificate, and it's all for IT, cybersecurity, and the first stepping stones to that. You know what I mean? So I'm just excited, man. That I was able to change the mental thought process of and sticking to something. You know what I mean? So for those of you who are struggling and who are perhaps you're struggling in your life with whatever it is that keeps you bound down, man, just know that there is a way out with consistency. Consistency to doing positive and spiritual things. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter what it is or what area of addiction or whatever it is that keeps you bound down, that is keeping you from moving forward, that is keeping you in that hamster wheel of life, if you would, you know what I mean? And you're just wondering, wow, man, why can't I get anywhere? Why can't I do this? But man, you know what? I'm here to tell you that you can do it. You can do it just like I did it, man. And it's great, you know what I mean? It's wonderful. And it all starts, with taking that first step. You know what I mean? Taking that first step in whatever it is that you want to do in your life in a positive and spiritual sense. And I can guarantee you that when you do that with consistency, man, your future is just way out there. You know what I mean? You can do whatever and be whatever it is that you want. It's unlimited, the things that you can do. You know what I mean? And you have the ability to do exactly that. Don't count yourself out. You know what I mean? Don't count yourself out, because, man, I counted myself out at one point in time in my life. And, when I got back up and I decided that I was going to take that first step, man, that first step turned into two. And then two turned into three, and so on and so forth. And, dude, I'm telling you, it can happen. And if it happened for me at my age, it can definitely happen for you, wherever it is that you're at. And no matter what nationality you are, no matter how old you are, no matter what your background is, none of that matters so long that you take that first step and continue to do it on a consistent basis. And, I'm living proof. So, I'm just grateful that I'm able to sit here and share that message with you guys. And yeah, so it's great. You know what I mean? I'm having fun, and for those of you guys who, for anybody who watches this video, man, just know that if sometimes you just have to be open-minded, you have to be willing, and you have to be truthful in the things that you want. And sometimes you have to get dirty. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you that from the get-go, is that not everything is a cakewalk. You know what I mean? And my journey to where I'm at today, from where I started when I decided that, I needed to switch my life around, when I needed the help, and when I, decided to take that first step, man, not all the steps were pretty, and not all the steps were easy. You know what I mean? I had to endure some more heartache. I had to endure some more, painful experiences mentally and physically and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? There's a process. But what I didn't lose sight of was being hopeful, being open-minded, and being willing and truthful to do the things I needed to do to continue on that journey. And I'm here to tell you, as living proof, that it gets easier. It gets easier the more you do it. And it's just like anything else that you do in your life, anything else that you want to be good at, that you want to be successful at, then you have to practice at it. You know what I mean? You have to, I had an Uber ride this morning, and the guy that we were talking, and he used an analogy. He's like, man, just keep going on that channel that you got, because if you just like having a hammer, if you keep banging away at that brick wall, man, eventually you're going to make a little hole in it. And eventually, if you keep on banging it, eventually that wall is going to come down. And man, I tell you what, I am grateful that I consistently kept doing the things that I needed to do. And look where I am at now, you know what I mean? Doing a video podcast, fixing to graduate school today. And, it's just amazing that, and my next venture is going to be a little bit different, you know what I mean? But I'm excited, you know what I mean? And just know that if you guys do that, and whatever it is that you want to do and accomplish in your life, that you can, you know what I mean? Just even because there were days, man, that I just couldn't, I was just like, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to learn all of this. And, there's days that make you feel, depressed and sad, and just like there's no way out. And, you just have to consistently keep doing it. Consistently keep on with them prayers, with the meditations, with the, keeping yourself in this positive and spiritual environment. And just know that, man, the rewards will come. You know what I mean? And I'm excited that I'm able to share, with you guys, and know that it's an attainable thing to recover, to conquer goals, to, apply new ones. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter what it is. You can have these, vast and extraordinary goals and things like that. And if you keep doing things toward that, little by little, and eventually you'll stop. You'll climb up. You know what I mean? And you'll be getting there. And this is just one of those stepping stones for me. You know what I mean? It's another thing that I can put into what I call my recovery arsenal. And my recovery arsenal consists of many different things that I use, that I pick up from other people, that I've learned, that I've read, and that I've experienced. And I put all of those things in my recovery arsenal because at any point in time in my journey of my life, that if I run into some sort of an adversity, some sort of obstacle, then I have that thing that I could pull out from, oh, I remember this in school, or I remember this at a meeting, or I remember this in a conversation with someone. You know what I mean? Those are just little nuggets that I throw into my recovery arsenal that I can use and pick up any time of the day that I need it. If need be, if something comes up where I need to use it, I have it. And so it's exciting, and all of those things that I have in that recovery arsenal are part of the things that I share here on the video podcast, because I don't share anything in my video podcast that is not true. The only things I share on my video podcast are things that I learned, things that I researched, things that I hear from someone else, and they allow me to share their stories and my personal experiences. You know what I mean? I have experiences and many different things, and from being a business owner to being a faithful Christian, from and I don't only practice that I indulge and I read and do things from other faith-based practices. Like one of the ones that I like doing is I like meditating, and I like indulging in Buddhism, because it's just something that I believe in, and it's weird to me because I believe in all the religions, because I believe that they are all right in their own way. You know what I mean? So I don't discriminate against anything, because I think that every single religion and faith-based thing has something to offer. You know what I mean? So it's I'm real open-minded and about a lot of things, and it's just great to learn from everybody, different cultures, and seeing how they all interact. But it's funny because they all go back to that there's only one. You know what I mean? And for me, that one is God, right? So, and that's my foundation. You know what I mean? It starts right there, and the more that I pour into that foundation, the stronger that it gets, and the stronger that I get. You know what I mean? It just goes back to that old, if you keep putting water into a muddy pail of water, then eventually that water in that pail is going to get crystal clear, and you're going to be able to drink it and share it with whoever is thirsty. And that's the whole point of doing this video podcast, is to keep pouring in and sharing with whoever needs to hear it and whoever wants to hear it. So so I'm just excited for today, and I just wanted to share that with you guys, and give you guys a word of encouragement that if you're bound down to something today, if you woke up today struggling, just know that if you do what you did yesterday to stay clean and sober, to stay out of that misery, to stay out of the darkness, if you just do what you did yesterday again today, you'll be there in the same spot, out of it. And it's just great. But yeah, so I just really appreciate you guys listening to my stories, listening to what I got to say, and hopefully that it helps somebody today. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way to help somebody, is by sharing a story, sharing a message, sharing what you have learned. And I wouldn't be doing myself and you guys a disservice if I wouldn't share the things that I've known that have helped me through different adversities and stuff like that. So it's just beautiful to do that, and I'm just grateful that I'm able to do that. And But yeah, so I guess this is going to be it for today. I just wanted to kind of share that exciting news and kind of give somebody a word of encouragement. So again, so thank you, I guess, for joining me today. Even though the video's, kind of short today, I just wanted to throw that out there real quick because I just, I'm excited. I'm going to do a little celebrating with the family, that sort of thing. So, but yeah, it's great. But I guess if you would, please give me a thumbs up, shoot me a comment, and share the channel. And if you would please touch that subscribe button, just know it doesn't cost you a thing. And just know that when you do touch that subscribe button, you'll be helping out another veteran, another homeless person, another person dealing with PTSDs, childhood traumatic experiences, drug addiction, alcoholism, anger issues, suicidal thoughts, sadness, and depression, because I, my friends, have dealt with all of those things at one point in time in my life, and I know that there's a way out. And because I do know that, that's why I share the channel, to hopefully help somebody who may need to hear it. And I guess until the next time on When the Smoke Clears, I am the Recovery Plug.